Hey there, Courtney here. Welcome to episode 41 of the Yay for Business podcast. And we're going to be talking about building self-trust. Self-trust is something I want to talk about because I think so many of us believe that our self-trust is broken because we're holding ourselves to such a high standard. And we have this very rigid set of things we must check off in order to trust ourselves. And if we don't check all those boxes and we don't hit those criteria, then we go, oh, I can't trust myself. And then we punish ourselves. And I want to talk about this in so much as I believe it relates to women or those who identify as women and entrepreneurs, because I see this happen a lot in the sales process when I'm having sales conversations with potential clients for Yay for 100K. And I noticed this trend, and I noticed this when I was, doing more selling for Yay for clients as well. But because with Yay for 100K, I get to have such great one-on-one conversations in direct messaging on Instagram or Facebook with our clients. We do lots of voice memos back and forth. And I really chat with our potential clients and our applicants. I feel like I get a little bit more insight into their psychology, which I think is such an honor for me. And I absolutely love it. I really am enjoying this higher touch sales process. And one thing I hear people saying a lot is very specifically in this scenario is I need accountability. I've taken a lot of courses in the past and I don't finish them. So I'm afraid that I'm going to do it again, which essentially is saying I don't trust myself to do this perfectly, right? Because who says you have to follow through on a course? Who says you have to finish everything? Now, a lot of people probably, right? But let's examine that. What is the focus and the obsession on having to finish everything we start? I think it more comes from perfectionism than it does wanting to get results, because you don't have to finish a course to get results from the course. In fact, I don't think I've ever finished a course in my experience as an online business owner. I don't think I've ever gotten to the end and checked off the last lesson and said, okay, I implemented every single thing in this program. And I do think if we were to examine that for a lot of us, that's what we're saying. Now, let's say it's more, okay, I bought courses and then I don't even do them at all. I would still argue, let's make sure we're not, quote unquote, wasting our money. But I would still argue, that's okay. Now, I don't want you to be, I think there's a very different thing here. There's people who have a tendency to buy a lot of courses and get themselves into debt. And this stems from a lot of magical thinking and FOMO. And I think that's more at the enrollment moment of I just want this because I don't want to miss out and I want to do everything. That is a very different issue than, hey, I rolled in this program. I had every intention of doing it. Maybe I did a few things and then I fell off and I'm not really sure what's going on, but now I don't trust myself to implement any other programs. Or hey, I hired this coach in the past, or I enrolled in this program and it wasn't good, right? The coach and I didn't mix, or it was disappointing, or it wasn't what I expected. And so now I'm afraid to trust the next thing. And I do think that is another form of self-punishment, because in essence, you're punishing yourself for the decision you made to hire that coach or to enroll in that program. Every single entrepreneur I know, successful at any degree, right? What is successful? But successful at any degree that you would maybe measure, has spent money on coaches or programs that they were not the right fit, or the program really disappointed, or the service provider or the coach was a con artist even, right? But the difference is that the people who I know who have continued to reach new levels of success in their business, they didn't punish themselves for that decision. They learned from it. And that even in a moment where you go, hey, and this goes back to, by the way, I'm interrupting myself, but this goes back to the episode I recorded a little bit ago talking about nuanced thinking. So I would go back and listening to that episode, episode 37 on nuanced thinking, because it goes back to that extremism, right? Of like pendulum swinging and throwing the baby out with the bathwater is I hired a coach who didn't work and now I won't hire business coaches or I won't hire coaches. Well, that, my friend, is not nuanced thinking. That's black or white thinking. And you deserve better than that. And it has nothing to do with your ability to trust yourself and everything to do with your ability to have compassion with yourself for being a human who doesn't do everything perfectly the first time or ever. And that we mitigate our expectations that every decision we're going to make is going to yield the biggest results possible. I had someone recently, an applicant for EA for 100K, who we were chatting, same thing, voice memos and chatting in the DMs. And she was really like, at the time of this recording, she's still enrolling. So I don't have the final end of this, but, she was really like, I'm loving this program. This is exactly what I need, et cetera. And she had some questions, and one of those questions answered some of her questions. And then one of the questions, and I see this happening sometimes as we get to the point of the person making that decision, right? Like, is the questions kind of change. And I don't know how else to describe it, but it moves from being like questions about like the content and all of that and like what's included. And it starts to become questions about like, am I capable of this? And so the question she asked was something to the effect of like, what is the percentage likelihood that I'm going to hit X income goal in this program? So I sent her a little voice memo and I said, look, I want to send you a voice memo because I think this is a great opportunity for some coaching, right? And me nor any coach can give you any kind of certainty on the level of results you're going to get. There's no such thing. And so it sounds like your brain is looking for certainty and a sure thing where there isn't one. So what I want to share with you instead is that instead of being certain I'm going to hit this result, you can have that certainty for yourself. You decide right now that that's a result you're going to get. What we need to do with that, however, is add in, on the way, I'm going to hit obstacles. On the way, I'm going to purchase things. I'm going to make decisions. I'm going to hire people. I'm going to, implement strategies that are not going to yield the result I want. But I'm going to learn from every single one of those experiences. I personally, I want to add, I've invested in programs I've never touched, but I don't beat myself up about it. I go, oh, you know what? I thought I was going to need that and I don't. Right? Like how much more kindness, right, to myself than like, oh, I should have done that. Why didn't I? I don't know what's wrong with me. I need accountability. It's like, yeah, I do need some accountability. I have ADHD, right? But it's not about perfectionism. It's not about having someone else holding my hand through it. It's about, sometimes it just didn't work out. I've hired people that didn't work out. I've worked with coaches that was not a good fit, but I always learned something. I always got a return on that investment from learning from that experience and having nuanced thinking that it was never all bad. Sometimes I got to the point where I realized, hey, no longer a good fit. I'm going to end this relationship, right? Or I'm not going to renew or whatever it is. I'm not going to buy the next thing from this person, however that it was set up. But there was always also so much I had gained, and not just gained from the good things in the program or the investment or the decision or the experience, but from the things that didn't go my way. I learned, oh, I don't like that. Oh, when somebody does this, that's a boundary for me that I need to set, right? It's the same thing when our clients, they get what we call PITA clients or pain in the ass clients, or, it's just our fun way of saying like, clients, when they push boundaries and sometimes it's like uncomfortable, is that like, it's okay. That like, it doesn't mean anything bad. It doesn't mean like something's wrong with you. It just means like, oh, hey, maybe there's a boundary you need to set up here, and just communicate that with the client so that there's clarity and communication between the two of you. So I just wanted to bring a little bit more groundedness to this conversation around your self-trust. And this could apply to so many other things than enrolling in a program. It could apply to any decision you're making, is that not that you have a guarantee that if you take X action, you're going to get Y result, but that you know that no matter what the result you get, you're going to learn and you're going to move forward. Okay? That is how you become indestructible. That is how you're able to learn from every single situation, is not needing a result from a specific thing, but is needing the lesson that you need to get the result. I love the saying, you always get the result you wanted or the lesson you needed. And that is the mindset I want you to take through for this. Whether it's a program you bought and you didn't implement it all and you didn't touch and you regret it, learn the nuanced lesson, not the overgeneralization black and white thinking lesson. What is the nuanced lesson that you can take away from that experience? Okay, hopefully this was helpful for you. If you want to join us inside of Yay for 100K, applications are, we're going to be coming back in August to review all of our applications. Our team is technically off right now. We're all on a 2-week vacation. And we're going to be reviewing applications in August 3rd when we get back to the office. So now's a great time to get your application in, and just know that we'll be reviewing it when we get back. We'd love to work with you this fall. So if that's something you're interested in, please go ahead and go over to CourtneyShaw.com/apply. We'd love to work with you, help you to build more compassion and self-trust in your business building process and getting you to whatever that revenue goal is for you, whether it's 100K or something else. And I will chat with you next week. Yay! Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you love today's content and are ready to finally start making a full-time income from your business this year, make sure to get on the wait list for my program, Yay for Clients, over at yayforclients.com, and you'll be notified the next time enrollment is open. Or if you're already booked with clients and you want to learn how you can turn your signature service into a signature program and add 100K of revenue to your bottom line, come apply to my group coaching program, Yay for 100K, over at CourtneyShaw.com/apply. Thanks again and have an awesome day.